I'm hitting record. We're recording. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Ashley. I've been a coach for about 2 years now. And this is Jessica with us.
Hello. Yeah, I've been a coach. I'm such a liar. So I signed up as a coach in like 2015 or something. And then 2017, I decided to be single, ready to mingle, and took that whole year off. So I'm back.
And then let me double check and make sure I don't have no notifications from the girls who are wanting to get on.
Sure.
Okay. Oh, looks good. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of chat about our stories a little bit and how we got started and what we do, how we earn an income, how we've made this to work in our lifestyle rather than how we've made it to how it's worked for both of us, because Jessica is single, full-time working. I am a now stay-at-home mom of 2 boys in doing this, and we're both making it work for us in our different lifestyles. So do you want to go first with your story, Jessica?
Sure, yeah. I joined as a coach back in July-ish. I think it was like the very last month, like week of July 2015. I joined it because I wanted a community and I wanted a place to be hanging out at. I was with my ex at the time, which is part of what I have. Like, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. But long story short, I joined this company because I was living with my parents. I was going to grad school. I had a dream of buying a house in Petaluma, which is in California. We're about 45 minutes north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Put it in perspective, the average 3-bedroom here goes for about $525,000, like $525,000. And I was going to grad school and I was living at my parents because, as you can imagine, to have a salary to be able to put you into that ballpark is freaking incredible, right? And so I grew up in this town and very fortunate to live here, and I wanted to stay here, and I really love it. So long story short, I joined Beachbody because I didn't want to feel guilty. Like, you guys, do you know how ugly it is inside to go to your Christmas party or go to your family's Thanksgiving and they're like, oh, you're 22 and you graduated from college and you're living with mom and dad? That makes you feel so ugly inside. And so then you tell people, oh yeah, it's okay that I'm ugly. Like, it's ugly inside, right? It sounds really bad, but it's okay that I'm living with my parents because I'm going to grad school. And so you come up with this like societal mentality of like, oh my God, it doesn't sound that bad. But then you can't do anything with your life because, or at least this is how it felt for me, you couldn't do anything with your life because everyone was judging your purchasing decisions. Like, you couldn't go to Cabo without freaking feeling guilty about it because that's, $1,000 that could be going to your house if you really cared about it, and so you get judged by all these dang people. And at least I was feeling that way. And I felt like I couldn't live my life in a way that wasn't getting judged. I was either getting judged for being that girl that moved back in with her parents, or I was being judged for being that girl, that was going on vacation and living my life for right now. Because I think that's so important. I don't want to wait until I'm 60 and retired to live my life. I'm sorry, it's not the life I want to live, and it's not something that I'm going to do, period. And so I needed a solution for that. And I heard that I could get the products paid for by being a coach. And so I did that. And I was like, okay, that won't make me feel guilty spending, the 100 whatever on my stuff, because I'll just be getting the money back, and then it's never really coming out of my pocket. It feels better. Then I heard about like trips and stuff. I was like, dude, I could totally do that too. Well, fast forward you guys through my story, and I had a really cool time with the company. I finally hit my goal, and I qualified for the loan that I never thought I would qualify for, with the percent down that I never thought I would be able to qualify for this condo that I'm sitting in right now. And I own a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,600 square foot condo in California, and I bought it at 25. And this is not for me to tell you that it was Beachbody money that made this happen. It's not, 100% not. But what coaching did for me is that it allowed me to live my life and go to Cabo. I went to Cabo twice. I went to Cancun with my boyfriend once I paid for my little sister, my boyfriend, and myself to go to Nashville to the CMA Music Fest, all on Beachbody money. And that was what was important for me, is that I was still living my life with this other paycheck. And so I was able to buy my condo because I never had to compromise the two between my life. And then the fun part is that I paid, I wrote the offer for this condo, and me and my ex broke up in the middle of escrow on this condo. Like, yay me, right? So 5.5 years, and then nothing. And so I literally woke up and was like, okay, well, now you bought the condo that you thought you were working towards and all these things, and then he doesn't love you anymore, and now what? And that's really embarrassing to say out loud. So I went down the tubes, and I'm not going to take you guys there, but I was a bar hopping machine. I was a Bumble dating machine. And that's why Ashley and I are so different, because our stories are so different, but the opportunity worked for both of us in such different ways. And so I completely went away from living healthy, from eating what I was supposed to be eating. Like, I was in the best shape of my life because I thought I was going to get married. Like, I thought I was going to get engaged. And then I got slapped in the face with something else, and reality hit me hard, and I went the other way. And so as of November, when you wake up, I don't know if you guys have this moment, but you wake up and you're like, dude, it's been a year that you're single. You sound real good on paper, and you don't sound good. You don't look good in person because you let yourself go away because you didn't work up here on your mind. And instead you worked on numbing yourself and going through the other side of things. And that's what coaching has done for me. Is not only like, did it set me up to have this condo so I was still living my life when I wanted to live my life, but it's also brought me back into reality. And I've lost over 10 pounds since November by being a part of this community and working on my own fitness. I've also made a good amount of money, which I know we'll go into soon too, but that's kind of like the gist of it, is that I've seen it on both sides of the spectrum, as, the girl that's dating and buying a condo and living her life and going on vacations with her boyfriend. And then the girl that's like, oh crap, what happens if your roommate moves out? Can you still pay the mortgage? Like, I'm in both spots. And so that's what's really cool about being partnered up here with Ashley and talking, is that, we live different spots of the business.
Most definitely different. And different completely across the country, different too.
Yeah.
Sunglasses on your head because it's still sunny out, and I'm like, it's all dark and late over here. But so a little bit about my story is I got started after I had my first son. I had been carrying around extra baby weight for 3 years at that point, and my coach reached out to me and just wanted to help me on my fitness journey. And I just was interested in the fitness aspect of it at first. I wanted nothing to do with the business part. I was super self-conscious. I was super shy. I'm still super shy, but I've learned to outgrow it. I've learned to put it aside and kind of just step outside of my comfort zone to grow as to who I am now. But I lost the weight, and then life happened, and we wanted to buy a house, and I got pregnant, and holy crap, debt started just piling up, and we were in a position where I was like, what happened to the screen? Someone popped off. Okay. Anyways, so then my coach had asked me about coaching the very first time I had gotten started, and I told her, no, absolutely not. I'm not comfortable with that. And so I kind of ignored her, and then I canceled everything. I canceled my entire fitness journey. I was pregnant, and there was no reason in my mind to keep up with my health while I was pregnant. So wrong. Anyways, that's because I wasn't working on the mental piece. But we got to a position where we were so broke and couldn't hardly afford shit. Like, literally couldn't afford anything. And I wanted to jump back on board with my health and fitness journey, but I also knew that I couldn't pay for it. Like, I couldn't afford we could hardly afford our electric bill, let alone pay for Shakeology every month. And so I was debating going back and forth of getting started, and then I kept seeing my coach posting about how she was staying at home with her kids during the summertime and what she was doing, and how her husband was working and she was working from home and providing an income still, but with her kids and paying for her Shakeology every month. And that's when I was like, okay, what's she up to? What's going on there? How can I do this? Because I have this baby in my belly right now. I'm going to be stuck going back to work probably 2 weeks after I have him because of the fact that we can't afford me taking the time off. And so I reached out to her, and she invited me to a Beachbody event called Super Saturday. We actually have one coming up in a couple weeks. If you want to go with me or Jessica, we're both going to one wherever you are located. Hit us up for that if you do want to go. But anyway, so my coach asked me to go to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going with a bunch of girls I do not know. An hour away, there's just no way. Like, I'm not comfortable. I wouldn't know what to say. I'm too shy. I'm too self-conscious. Like, I'm not pretty like all of them and this and that. Like, I had all the objections in the world. And then the fact that it was an hour away and I didn't even have the gas money to get there, and my car probably wouldn't have made it to Grand Rapids. So let's just be honest there. Anyway, somehow something inside of me told me I had to go to this event. Like, I just had to go. And so I told her, yes, I will go. I paid $15 for my ticket for Super Saturday, and I got to her house, and I was like, okay, I'm going to get in this car with these girls, and this is going to be all right. I'm 38 weeks pregnant, and what happens is what happens, I guess. So at 38 weeks pregnant, I went to that event, and I heard the girls that were getting on stage talking about how their life has just completely transformed. And a girl who was in a similar situation as me years prior, to where she didn't know how she was going to afford diapers versus how she was going to afford groceries. And that's exactly where I was sitting at that point. Like, my little brother helped us with buying a car seat. That's how broke I was. I mean, granted, we would have came up with the money to get the car seat, but he wanted to gift it to us. So huge relief when that happened. So hearing their stories, and then hearing the community of all the girls coming together. There's guys too, but let's face it, it's a girl-based business. They were just so passionate about helping people change their lives, whether it was physically, mentally, financially. Like, there's something in this business to help you change your life in any aspect that you are looking to change. And I needed it all. I needed to change my financial situation. I needed to change my mental situation and my physical. So I decided to jump into coaching then, and it was a very, very slow start. I didn't jump head in because I was scared to post on social media. I was scared to reach out to people, and I was just scared to like make the changes or reach out to people. And so, sorry, I was trying to make sure that I didn't. Okay. So then I got to a point where we were having our son, and I was sitting in the hospital room. Levi had to go back to work the next day, and our son ended up with jaundice. And so I was stuck staying in the hospital while he was at work, and I was technically checked out of the hospital, but able to stay in the room with our son. And I had no money to pay for even hospital food. Like, I couldn't pay for the hospital food. That's how broke I was. And we had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and peanut butter toast for breakfast and lunch while I was staying in the hospital because I had no money to pay for anything. And as I was sitting there with my new baby, I was like, I've got to change this. Like, I cannot keep living like this. And I know Levi was feeling the stress. I was feeling the stress. Our whole entire family was feeling the stress. The fighting was constant. Like, financial fighting over finances is the worst. Like, 100% the worst fights that you can have with your spouse, I think. So I started digging in and stepping outside of my comfort zone and just sharing my story. I wasn't making up all these crazy things. Like, I wasn't paying for vacations or anything else like that, but I literally was paying for $10 for an extra meal or $40 for extra gas money at first. And then I started paying for my Shakeology, and it was just little things over time that started accumulating that I started being able to pay for. And just sharing those small little wins every single step of the way is how I started sharing my journey. And it started playing out slowly, and I started stepping outside of my comfort zone slowly, but I did it, and I kept doing it, and I kept plugging in to what my coaches were telling me and what other people who were successful were telling me to do. And that's what makes it work, is when you're coachable and you're willing to just kind of step outside of that comfort zone. Okay, I'll quit rambling a little bit there, Jessica, if you have anything to add.
No, I think that what's really cool about this whole thing is that you and I both resonate on the fact that we're like, oh my God, we're not pretty enough. Oh my God. There's all these different people on social media that are like social media famous or something, right? And I'm sorry. I get it. Like California sounds like an elaborate place to live in every other part of the country, right? Like it does. And owning a condo at 25, it sounds really, really elaborate. And it sounds sexy and it sounds really freaking cool, right? But it's not. Let me tell you, I'm remodeling my kitchen right now. And that's what, if you follow me on social media, you'll see that I am always side hustling because this is what I call Beachbody coaching. Because also if you follow my job, like me on Instagram, you'll see that I love my career. Like I have zero desire to be at home, which is like so different than you, right? Absolutely. Because you have a reason to stay home. I would go effing crazy. Like if I was at home, like I would go nuts. And, maybe someday in my life I will want to. And that's what's really cool is that it's not this, you have to be this girl thing, or you have to, chill in this box, or you have to be okay. Hey, Michaela, welcome. It's not this little cookie cutter spot. And I thought that too. And I didn't want to do it for so long because number one, I didn't want to be that B word that blows up your social media, and I think that what a lot of people don't know is actually the way that you and I do it. We don't blow people up on social media.
Nope.
Like I'm not that annoying chick that's going to post a picture like, oh my God, look at me in this. Like, ew, get out of my life.
Yeah, I'm never looking to try and post all of like the salesy side of it. Like I know when I first got started, I was like, I thought that's what I had to do. I thought that I had to post all about Beachbody. And it wasn't none of that. It wasn't like, here's my Shakeology or here's my 21-day fix workout. It's like, here's this drink that's literally changing my insides and helping me with energy and this and that. Like it's not, or not, here's this workout. Like I'm just sharing like my workout, me working out, me struggling during my workouts or laughing at myself during my workouts and just having fun with it. And sharing it, the fun side of it all.
Totally. I think that also something I wish I knew when I was thinking about dabbling in is that the most successful people, by the way, Ashley, do you mind if I just drop, I like to be super transparent. Do you mind if I say how much I made this month?
Oh, no. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I made just over $1,000 this month. I just started coaching again in November. I'm not going to sit here and say that's a typical month, right? Like I did not make $1,000 in November, did not make $1,000 in December, right? But I made $1,000 this month and the month isn't over yet. Over $1,000. And the reason why I say that to you guys is because it depends on what you put into it. If you want to pay just for what you want, like the pack that you get, for sure, you can totally do that. If you want to go even farther than that, you can totally do that. But if you look at if you want to, you can go look at my Instagram. I do not touch Facebook, And so where I'm going with this in all my rambling is that you don't have to be that girl at all. If you look at my Instagram, it's all of my journey. It's me struggling with PCOS, and it's me remodeling my condo, and it's me being a part of this rad ass, sorry for swearing, community, because that's what's cool to me. And that's what I wanted to join. And what I talk about, and you'll hear me talk about it all the time, is this is my fit sorority. I don't know if you guys can resonate with that. When I went to college, and when I moved away, I didn't have any friends, obviously, because I moved away. And then I'm like, dude, how do I get hella friends really fast? Because I don't want to be that loner ass chick, sorry for swearing again, in the corner at the state capitol, which can get pretty freaking hood. And how do I make friends? Quick. How do I get girls that are going to be my girls? And joining a sorority was the way to do it. And when you're an adult and you try to find friends, I mean, if there was a freaking emoji thing where you could go like this and like it and put your hand up, I'd be there and being like, yo, my adult friends that I have now don't understand where I'm at right now. And actually, I don't know if you can relate to that, but like, I'm not friends with the girls from high school anymore. Because a lot of them are all over the place doing crazy party stuff, and I'll let you fill in the blank, but I've never done that, not my thing. Right? Like,
it's funny because I really did lose touch with a lot of the friends that I did go to school with. I just went out to dinner with some high school friends this weekend, but that was the first time that I've done that, and I don't even know how long, because a lot of them don't have kids anymore, and like they just don't want to go out. And then I've been able to connect with other women like you and like our coaches and everyone in our team page, who we get to go to Mexico with them next month. And then I get to go to Denver with the other girls in the following month. And then I get to go to Indy and meet everyone else in June. Like, who am I? Like, the girl,
right? Like, how many girls trips do we need to go on? Like,
the girl who couldn't travel, who couldn't even buy diapers and groceries, is getting vacations paid for. Like,
yeah,
that's just one piece of like just making sure if you want to make this business work, you can plug in and make this business work. I mean, Michaela, she's a coach on my team actually. She jumped in finally last month, I think it was, and she was like, screw this, I'm hitting the ground running. And she's been hitting her goals like since then, like since she made that decision in her mind that she wasn't gonna give up, she ran for it and she started doing it. And so just shout out there, Michaela.
Thanks.
But and she reminds me so much of me though, because in the beginning she was like, oh, I just don't think people are gonna want to do it, I don't think people are gonna relate to me. And then the other objection of like, I don't think people want to pay for this, or I think people are going to think it's too expensive. Until you realize the value of what you have, like, holy crap, you guys, we get to offer people workout programs for an entire year. We get to help coach them for that whole entire year. And then they get to have Shakeology on top of that. Like, there's no other product on the market like Shakeology. I'm not going to go into that whole spiel, but really. So, yeah, and I'm gonna.
I mean, I started this in August, September, October, November, December were horrible months for me. I did not make crap, but then again, it's like, where was my consistency? Not in my business. But once it hit January, I was like, I'm ready to hit the ground running, and I've hit Success Club twice in a row, or 3. Would this be 3?
And
or 2 or something?
Success Club is very the girls on here won't understand what Success Club is.
Right.
It's a goal that we hit each month. You're not required. You don't have a boss telling you have to hit it, but it's what we set as a goal to where if you are hitting it, you know you're starting to be successful in the business. So that's why we set those types of goals out there for people.
Yeah, I think that what else I would throw on here, if I was someone that was thinking about jumping in or not, I would think, one, like, what kind of money, if money is your motivator, which was my motivator, like, what kind of money do you want to make? And what I mean by that is, just like in any job in the world, the amount of input you put into your job at work is what happens with performance. Side note, I work in HR for an awesome rad company that flies me all over the place, which is why I freaking love my job, and I will not be quitting my job. I also work in beer, which is a freaking rad industry. And then number 3, I have puppies everywhere. So I'm not ready to leave that yet to be some single chick on the sofa. That'll make me depressed. But keep in mind, I'm still making like good money that if I wanted to, I totally could. But where I'm going with this is that, like, the amount of money, if money is your motivator, if money is a thing that makes you tick, is dependent on what you want to do and what kind of team you want to join. And, you know, Michaela, just like what you said, Ashley, you and I being on the same team, like we know what's worked for people in our team, right? And Michaela, you've even seen it. Like if you wanted to jump in, you totally could at any point in time. That like, dude, we don't make you reinvent the wheel. Where's the fun in that? Like, why let you little like a fish? We don't really fish out here in California, by the way. But if you don't let it flop around like a fish, but you know, like you might as well just win. And we want you to win.
That's why I love this company is we're all helping each other.
Yeah.
But where was I gonna go with that? You had sparked something that interested me. Yeah, not reinventing the wheel as in we're helping you. We have systems and things that we'll help plug you into to get you started. Gosh, there was something else I was gonna add to that. I'm blank.
You know, that's totally fine. I think that when it comes down to it, anyone can use this opportunity, right? Like, and what I mean by that, you got it, go.
I got it. So
I saw your face.
One of the main questions I get is if people have time to work this business, if people are still working their 9 to 5s like you are, Michaela is. I was still working part-time when I very first started. Like, yes, you can still make time for this business if it's a priority to you. You can work in pockets of time. You can get your workout in the morning or at night, and then you can do like a power hour is what we call it, in morning or night or on your lunch break. I know Michaela a lot of times will be messaging me on her lunch break asking me for help on certain replies to people. And like that's when you can get in your work and just little things that you can do during the day while you're sitting on the toilet or while you're doing your laundry and certain things that I do. So you can definitely fit it in any situation that you have if you want to make it a priority.
I totally agree with that because like I said, for me, since I resonate with the girls that love their careers, like I have zero desire. Like I've said, I'm real clear about that. I have zero desire to leave my career, but I do have a desire to live my life right now. And that is what Beachbody coaching does for me, is not only give me friends because I moved away from the college life back into my hometown, and give me a community of people that don't need that text message every day, that are like, we're still friends, right? Like, you want to get happy hour? Like, sorry, that's my sorority voice, which I can say because I was a VP of a sorority. So don't come at me crazy. But I think that what it gives me is like a sense of community, right? But then also it allows me to live my life and still work the job that I love. Like I'm not that girl that went to college and then hates the job. Like I went to college and I got a career, right? Actually, and this is why like we're so different, but we're still the same chick at the same time because we get along so well, you know?
Yeah. So I went to school for accounting and I have my associate's degree in accounting and I have over half of my bachelor's degree done. And the thought of doing that work just makes my skin crawl. Like, I don't want to. Like, I wanted to be super professional. I wanted to make a lot of money and I wanted to do this, but I found an opportunity here to where I'm digging in, I'm going to get the results. And it's so funny because Levi was so not on board in the beginning with it because he was like, you're leaving like our future. Like, what are you doing? And so I kind of separated him and my business for a long time and he wasn't on board with it for the longest time. And then I started sharing with him my success and my excitement that I was having with it and telling him certain things that like no one else like Success Club people don't understand it until you are actually working the business. But then I started telling him, I just hit the Success Club number. I just hit the Success Club number. And he's like, what's that mean? And I'll tell him and I'll be like, okay, it's good if it's at this number and it's good if it's at this number and it's really good if it's at this number. And he's like, okay. And he's like, so how much is your check? And then I get to tell him, he's like, all right, I can do that. He's like, you keep bringing that in and we're good.
Right. And like conversely, I did my undergrad, moved back in with my parents, went to grad school, right? Like I've done completely the opposite of like actually what you've done, right? But at the same time, the business works for whomever wants to work it in their way. And that's like, for me, I work in power pockets, like you said. And by power pockets, I mean, I work 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. Like sometimes I'll work in my car when I park at work, and sometimes I freaking sit in front of the sofa and I'm watching Peaky Blinders. Hey, anyone? No. But it's on Netflix. Anyways, so I'll watch Peaky Blinders and I'm like, I'm working this and stuff. Oh my God, you guys, this is what I get, by the way. Side note, that for leaving my screen open so that I can stare at the patio set that I bought with Beachbody money. I just got a bug, but okay. Keep going.
I was just saying, I'm going to wrap this up because I wanted to keep it under 40 minutes. And yeah. So how, if you are looking to get started with coaching, if you've gotten set up with a package from your coach already, you literally can just sign up as a coach and then get that amount refunded, or you can purchase your challenge pack, which is your Shakeology and your program. And just talk to your coach about what would be the best option for you, but you don't have to invest any more than just your fitness journey. Like, you're not paying anything extra other than that. Like, so what would it be, Jessica? How am I explaining that correctly?
So I think it depends. So if you've jumped in like a boot camp or an accountability group or something in the past, or a challenge group in the past, then you will initially talk to your coach, which is either Ashley or myself or someone in our teams, because we're all a team. And talk to your team, like talk to the person that initially talked to you about coming in, and they'll let you know which way you need to go. So it's two ways. It's either one, with a purchase that'll get you in, or two, it comes with a refund. And it only depends on what you've already done in the past, and we don't know, so I can't just bleh and say this is the deal. Right? And then, but some of them come with a refund, which if you've participated in the past with a challenge group or boot camp or whatever, it comes with a refund, and it's free, essentially, to log in and to join us. And then you can start making
no inventory. There's no nothing. Like, that's why I love our business too, is because we pay a $15 membership fee, business fee, but it's also allowing us 25% off of all of our future products. But it also takes care of all of our inventory, takes care of all the shipping, takes care of all the customer service side of everything. Like, we don't have to do none of that. Like, it's all done for us.
And well, I think that what's also really great about that $15 thing is, I don't know about you guys, but so I worked for Target when they had their data breach, and it's so sketchy to me to think about giving someone my credit card so they can write you like a thing on a receipt and then be like, oh yeah, I'll process it for you later. Here's your inventory of stuff. And you have to like host a party and stuff. Like I'm an outgoing introvert. Do not make me host a party. And I never have to do that with this business.
Yes. So, all right. I think that's all we had for you guys. If you have any questions, just message your coach, and obviously we will help you out. All set, Jess?
Set.
All right. Bye, guys.